Welcome, guys. Welcome to today's class. This is going to be our first introductory class on how to prepare for the different posts that are there in Bank of Baroda. Now, first, you've got to understand that these days banking has become very competitive, no doubt in your respective banks, because most of you, in fact, all of you are from a private sector bank. So, there the pressure is relatively on the higher side. And one of the most important things that differentiate you from a officer working in a government bank is a government banker has a holistic knowledge. They have knowledge of different things because a single officer is doing too many things in a government bank. Whereas in your respective private banks, you may have a specialized role. That means you may be doing a particular role only. So this is a limitation. This is a challenge which most of the private sector employees face. Further, when you work for a government bank, because government bank is a part of the government, government has their stake in it. So there the working is very different. Okay, you can't compare it with private sector banks. Except for federal bank, because the salary structure in federal bank is as per the bipartite settlement. So some things are common in federal bank and in Kotak Mahindra Bank. However, the credit structure is very different. Now, when we talk of credit or sales, or for that matter, any other role in the bank or the banking sector, we must understand that RBI plays a major role. Reserve Bank of India, being the regulatory body, plays a very important role. Whatever regulatory directions RBI gives, every bank has to follow it. So every bank will form their internal circulars, kind of policies based on what? Based on the guidelines given by RBI. Can any bank form any product or guidelines which are against the guidelines given by RBI? Can it happen?
No, sir.
No, sir.
If it happens, then what?
We'll
Penalized,
be
Then
we'll
will
be
be
in bank
penalized.
will be in problem,
Yes,
sir.
RBI will penalize such a bank. Okay. So now what we've got to understand that because as of now we are specifically talking about the Indian banking sector, that means we are talking about India. So we have a set of laws. Okay. That law empowers RBI or any other regulatory body to function and use its power over the banking sector. Other than RBI, can you tell me any other regulatory body that may be regulating the banks? Hmm. Other than RBI. So, most of the banks are also selling insurance policies. So, when they are selling insurance policies, IRDAI has some say in banks. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Banks have to comply with some of the regulations given by SEBI
Right, sir.
because banks are also in ASBA, application supported by blocked amount. Similarly, banks are also involved in foreign exchange. So, they have to abide by the
FEMA.
FEMA. Very nice. FEMA Act 1999. Because banks are also into pensions, so they have to follow the guidelines of PFRDA.
Right.
Right. So there are different sectors in the economy, and there are different regulatory bodies regulating that particular sector. If bank has to do anything in that sector, then the guidelines given by the regulatory body has to be followed. Got it? Now, like I give you this example, how many of you actually drive a car or ride a motorcycle?
I think, sir,
All
all
of
of
us, I
us.
think.
Okay.
All of us.
So, in order for you to do that, do you think there are certain prerequisites? It's not that you can just take your car or a two-wheeler and start driving or riding. Are
Yeah,
there any
training is
prerequisites?
Yes, sir.
we need to learn it, sir.
We need to get
Along
the
with
license
that,
also.
yes, along with that, whether you learn it or not, you should have a valid license, right? And similarly, the vehicle that you want to drive or ride around should be registered. Yes or no?
And should have a means insurance also. Third
Yes.
party.
Yes. So the vehicle that you want to drive or ride around should be registered. Registered with what? The authority?
RTO?
Yes, yes, the authority. I'm going to give you a broader picture, so we will call it authority, right? So the authority is mentioned where? Motor Vehicles Act 1988. Yes or no? So there is an act, what we call as Qanoon, and that act says what you've got to do. So in case a person wants to drive a four-wheeler on the road, they've got to get it registered with the RTA, the authority, Regional Transport Authority, right? And similarly, the person who wants to drive it should also hold a valid license. If you don't have the registration, if you don't have the license, then what can happen?
Penalized, sir.
Yes, you can
You
be
have to pay the fine.
challaned. Yes, you can be fined, you can be channelized by whom? Only by the respective authority or its representative. So, can a doctor do a challan? Why can a
No.
doctor? No, right? Only the
No,
traffic
sir.
policeman or the designated representative can do the challan. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, for
Yes, sir.
example, each one of you want to start your own banks. So, can you start your bank without any requirement, or do you require any such things? Is there any requirement?
Sir,
Yeah,
we have to
yeah,
take a license
Yes. So, who
and
will give you the license?
RBI.
Yes. So if any sector or if any activity is being regulated, then you have to approach the regulatory body. For example, let's say Dipesh, he wants to get into real estate. He wants to start a real estate project. Does he require any clearances or permissions?
Yes, from RERA, I feel.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So RERA is a different regulatory body. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is what I'm saying. If there is any sector which is being regulated, and if you want to get into that sector, then you have to work as per what? As per the rules and regulations laid by the regulatory body. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So when we talk of banking, RBI is the regulator, and there are certain acts. When we say act, that means law that enables RBI to function. If those laws will not be there, nobody is going to take RBI seriously. Now, RBI was formed as per RBI Act 1934. How many of you know about it?
Sir, we know about it, sir. We have read it.
Similarly, there is an act called Banking Regulation Act 1949.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, SEBI, initially, it was created through a normal, what should I say, of executive order. Okay. So it was formed in 1988, but between 1988 and 1992, people were not taking it seriously. Why? Because there was no law behind it. Got it? In 1992, when this Harshad Mehta scam and everything was happening, government created an act called SEBI Act 1992. And that is when SEBI became a statutory body. SEBI became what?
Statutory.
Before that, it was just an executive body that was created through an executive order. So RBI, is it a statutory body or what?
Statutory body.
RBI is
Yes.
statutory.
Any body that is created through an act, through a statute, another name for act is statute, is called a statutory body. Is RERA a statutory body? Yes.
Yes, yes.
It is created through an act. Okay. Now, what is an act?
Act is a law passed by this parliament.
Yeah, just took a quick pause. So the reason why I was asking you about the law or act, you should have, clear understanding about certain concepts. So how many of you have heard about cryptocurrencies?
Yes, we have
Cryptocurrency.
heard about it.
Yes, we
Okay.
have.
Yes, we heard, sir.
Yeah. Today in India, is there any law on cryptocurrencies?
No.
No. So it is a sector which is as of now unregulated. When we say unregulated, that means there is no regulation. Since there is no regulation, so there is no regulatory body, right? In all likelihood, once cryptocurrencies they are accepted in India, who is going to play act as a regulatory body? RBI.
RBI.
Yes, because it is about currency. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Is there any difference between cryptocurrency and CBDC as such? What is CBDC?
The CBDC is a regulated currency, kind of.
What is CBDC? First of all, you should tell me CBDC, and everyone should be careful in the class. If you are careful in the class, you will be learning many things in the class itself. Okay, because every one of you is working, you don't get much time, so you have to be very attentive in the class. Try and learn things in the class itself, participate so that you remember things in the class. Yeah, go ahead.
The CBDC is a central bank digital currency. It is launched by RBI and it's
Yes.
a regulated currency.
Yeah.
So it's completely under RBI. So it's a kind of, regulated.
Okay. So when we say CBDC, so it can be issued by any country. If any country's regulator issues a digital currency, it will be called a CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. Like in India, CBDC has a name, that is e-rupia. E-rupee.
E-rupee.
Fine. Now, CBDC and cryptocurrencies, they are almost similar, but because it is being issued by the central bank, so the name is given what? Central Bank Digital Currency. So a digital currency and cryptocurrency is almost the same. There is very little difference because the underlying architecture on which it works is the same. Fine. So as of now, we do not have
Sir,
a clear-cut legislation on cryptocurrency here in India. So it is an unregulated sector. Yes, Vaibhav, were you saying something?
No, sir.
sir, Saurabh.
Yes,
So
Saurabh, tell me.
what I was saying is, sir, also one difference is underlying security, because when the RBI is issuing a currency, there is an underlying security behind it.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
in
That means,
cryptocurrency, I think only the faith is the underlying security, nothing else.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is a faith.
See, the
It's not.
problem with so-called, that is why I said there is very little difference. And the major difference is because it is being issued by central bank. So you can be rest assured with the safety and security because basically it is the government. Now, again, let me share a very big secret with you. Across the world, if you do as what the government says, it is legal. And if you don't do as what the government says, it is called what? Illegal. It is called illegal. And if something is illegal, then action can be taken, penalty can be levied, or further criminal action can be taken. Got it? So, for example, if there is no law, that means there is no clarity. So if such matters goes to the court of law, the court will not be act decisively. Why? Because there is no law. Like before this RERA came, people were still buying houses, yes or no?
Yes.
So for example, before this RERA came, Kalpesh went to Jonish, and let's say Jonish was a big dealer in real estate and Jonish was making flats, apartments and was selling it. Kalpesh went to Jonish, and however, Jonish did not fulfill his or her commitment and Kalpesh did not get delivery for his property. So what recourse was available to Kalpesh at that time? He had very limited scope because there was no regulatory body. So he would either approach the consumer court or civil courts. Yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
the process was very cumbersome and time taking. So whenever you see any regulatory body, the most important function that regulatory body is doing is that it is supervising the functioning of that sector. So like RBI is supervising the banking sector. RBI oversees whether everything is happening as per its guidelines, whether customer complaints are being dealt with, whether customer services are being provided. Yes or no? This is same with SEBI. This is what SEBI is doing. This is what RDII is doing. This is what PFRDA is doing. Every regulatory body is doing the same. They are overseeing their sector. They give the guidelines. They modify their guidelines. They regulate their entities. The entities which are regulated by the regulatory bodies, they are called what? REs, regulated entities. REs. What?
R
Regulated
is
entities. So,
entities.
for example, banks in terms of RBI would be called what? REs. Okay, so instead of mentioning every bank, if on RBI circular you find this word REs, that means all the entities that are regulated by RBI will fall under a two-word term of REs, regulated entities. Clear?
Yes, regulated.
Okay. Now, I was about to tell you about this law, how law comes into the picture and why a basic understanding of it is required. So, for example, as of now, we don't have any law on cryptocurrency. Fine. So, let's say our honorable prime minister or finance minister in their speech, they say the government is planning to regulate the cryptocurrency market, for example. And then they will say that in the coming budget session, we will introduce a bill. So before government brings in any law, a draft form of bill is tabled in the parliament. Okay. Again, let me give you another understanding. Whatever power you see in a country is basically divided into three forms, especially in democratic countries: legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature is the one which makes the law. Like in India, we have Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, followed by the president. Right? Similarly, in US, we have Senate. So legislature makes the law. Executive is the government in function, bureaucracy. It does what? It implements that law. And then we have judiciary. Judiciary oversees that right law has been formed, that it is not breaching the rights of the citizens, and then its implementation is not uh, vague. Its implementation should be as per law as well. Is it clear,
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Just a quick thing.
Seconds back. Can you repeat that?
What?
Sir, what were you explaining just few minutes back? Can
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
can you
I'm
please?
repeating that.
Yes.
See, in every country, there is some kind of law. Now, who is making that law? There is some authority in that country which is making that law. If we talk of democratic countries, the entire power that is there in the country has been divided into three bodies. One is legislature. Next is executive, and the third is judiciary. So in India, when we talk of legislature, in the center we have Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the President of India. At the state level, we have Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad, followed by the governor. Okay. Similarly, in US, you have the Senate, the upper house, and the lower house. So whenever any law has to be made, a bill is introduced in the legislature. Okay. So the powers have been divided between what? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature has been interested with law making. Executive has been interested with its implementation. And judiciary has been interested the role to oversee that correct law has been made and its implementation is being happening in the right form. Got it? Now, for example, let's say in our country or in XYZ country, government, the legislature creates a law that after 7 p.m. nobody will come out. Fine. And executive uses full force to implement it. They start beating people. They use all force to put pressure on people. So do you think this is a good law? Will people accept it that after 7 p.m. you can't go out?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir,
No.
not at
But
all.
because all the power is with the legislature and the executive, so that is why you have judiciary. Judiciary is there to protect you. Judiciary has this power of judicial activism that on its own, it can question the law-making authority and it can quash that law. It can say this law is anti-citizen. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in India, we have legislature, executive, and judiciary. Now, coming back to our example wherein I was saying, let's say our finance minister announces that we are about to regulate cryptocurrency. So, in order to regulate cryptocurrency, we must have a law. So, how a law is made? So, first of all, you will make a draft and it is called a bill. Okay. Why it is a called draft? Because draft is subject to change. You must have seen when you write an email, it goes to the draft. Yes or no?
Yes.
So draft is any form of writing which is subject to change. Okay. It is just a kind of rough form. Okay. You can make it changes to it. So a draft bill will be presented in the legislature. It can be presented in the lower house, the Lok Sabha, or the upper house, the Rajya Sabha. Then the members in those houses, they may debate. We should have this provision, we should not have this provision. Let's say the law says 10 crore minimum capital is requirement or 100 crore minimum capital is required from any company who wants to come out with cryptocurrencies. Then the member of parliaments may say, no, 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 100 crore is very less, make it 1000 crores. So they will discuss, debate, and then certain changes can be made to it. Once that draft bill is approved by both the houses of the parliament and is approved by the president, that means it is approved by the legislature, it is called what? An act. Now it is called an act. So initially it may be called Cryptocurrency Rules 2024. So it may be called Cryptocurrencies Bill 2025. But once it is approved by the legislature, now it will be called what? Cryptocurrency Act 2025. Is it clear, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So, for
Yes,
example,
sir.
a bill may have come in 2023, but it got passed in 2025. So, you will find this term Cryptocurrency Bill 2023, Cryptocurrency Act 2025. Why 2025 with the word act? Because it was passed in 2025. That is when it became act. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, when will it become law? When it is enforced, implemented by the government. For that, what government does? Government publishes it in the official gazette of India. Have you heard this term official gazette?
Yes, sir.
That means government will notify it. A notification will come. Guys, are you understanding it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What about others? Vikas,
Yes, sir.
Sandeep, Rashmi, Kalpesh, Jonish, Vaibhav, Saurabh.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Understand?
Yes, yes.
See,
Absolutely.
in the act, there may be many sections. Okay. So let me give you example. How many of you have heard about IFSCA? In how many of you have heard about IFSCA,
No,
International
no, sir, we
Financial
don't have.
Services?
No, sir, we didn't.
Okay.
Don't.
Have you
No,
heard
sir.
about Gift City?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What is Gift City?
it's in Gujarat, sir. Means a part means सर मैंने पढ़ा है बट आई कैन नॉट एक्सप्लेन राइट नाउ ये मतलब यहाँ पे जो ट्रांजैक्शंस होते हैं फॉरेक्स ट्रांजैक्शंस होते हैं इतना मुझे पता है एंड देयर लाइक देयर आर लिबरल रूल्स फॉर दैट
Can you see my screen?
It is showing,
No, sir.
started shading.
Has started screen sharing. Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. This is the official website of International Financial Services Centers Authority. Fine. Now, have you heard about Dubai?
यस सर
Yes, sir.
Mauritius,
Yes, sir.
Cayman Islands?
यस
Yes,
सर
sir.
Why do you think I am naming these? What is common with these names?
These are tax havens, sir.
Okay. Very nice. He has used the term tax haven. Basically, tax haven is any territory where the taxes are very low. Either there are no taxes, that means zero taxes, or very low taxes. Okay. Now, why such a territory would be in news? Is it a good thing to have tax havens?
So for companies, yes. For
Very
nations,
nice. Very nice, Saurabh. I'm happy. He's very specific with his answers. For companies, it is very good. So if you are a business, if you are Reliance, if you're Tata, or if you're any multilateral business, would you want to pay a higher tax or would you want to pay the lowest tax?
Lowest tax.
Lower.
Lowest tax, right? But do you want to do anything illegal? No,
No.
No.
because you are a global company of repute, you don't want to do anything illegal, right? But at the same time, you want to save taxes. So there are certain jurisdictions in the world which give very business friendly policy. Now, the first thing a business wants is low taxes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Next thing it wants ease of business. Compliances should be easy. The entire process should be very easy. Agreed? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Now,
Yes,
because
sir.
India did not have it, so most of the foreign investors, they would usually go out to countries like Dubai, Mauritius, right? Maldives, Cayman Islands. So what India did, especially under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, they identified this place called Gift City. Fine. Now, such places are also called offshore financial centers, OFCs. What is it? Offshore financial center. Fine. But the
Okay.
word offshore means it is away from the shore. So usually such a place would be an island away from the mainland. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But Gift City is in Gandhinagar. Okay. Why they have called it OFC, Offshore Financial Center? Because again, offshore financial centers are places where the policies or guidelines are very flexible, very business friendly. So here the local laws that are applicable in other parts of India are not applicable. If you do business within the Gift City, because it is treated as an offshore financial center, you would be getting many benefits. For example, you are HSBC or you are Bank of America, Bank of Japan. Now, if you want to set up a bank within Gift City, from whom will you take permission? You want to set up a bank within Gift City, from whom will you take permission? Hmm, guys, you getting my point?
Not RBI.
My question is from whom you will take the permission.
Maybe,
So
sir,
he said not
authority.
RBI. Okay, this is a very smart answer. He clarified that it is not RBI. So yes, it is IFSCA. It is what? International Financial Services Centers Authority. This is also called a unified regulator, unified financial sector regulator. So for example, if you are an insurance company and you want to set up your office in within Gift City, from whom will you take permission? IRDAI, IRDAI? No. Again, you will take permission from whom? IFSCA. Guys, are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, IFSCA is the authority which regulates all businesses happening in the Gift City. Now, Gift City is an offshore financial center. If you are seeing the screen, you can see it is saying aircraft leasing and financing. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
So there they
Yes.
have a single regulator. International Financial Services Centers Authority is the regulatory body. You can see it is written, it is a statutory body. So anybody who wants to do any business within the offshore financial center that is Gift City, it will approach IFSCA. Now, to give you an example, I can just show you the structure. This is the structure. This will give you a little more clarity. Can you see? If we talk about rest of India, we will have RBI governor, we will have SEBI chairperson, we will have IRDAI chairperson, right? But here there is a single chairperson, and within that there are different departments. There is Department of Banking, then there is Department of Capital Market, Department of Insurance and Pension, Department of Metals and Commodities, Department of Development. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here all the powers that were with RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, PFRDA, they have been given to what? IFSCA. Okay. Guys,
Yes,
is it clear? Any doubt as of now? Please tell me.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
सर वन क्वेश्चन
Hmm.
सर ये जो ऑफशोर फाइनेंशियल सेंटर है जैसे गिफ्ट सिटी है
Hmm.
तो इसके प्रोड्यूस को जीडीपी में लेते हैं क्या
बिल्कुल
कि
बिल्कुल.
इसको माना जाता है
It is part of India, no? Only it's just that there are certain laws that we are offering within Gift City which are very favorable for foreign investors and our domestic investors.
लाइक स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन्स
Yes, absolutely. Special economic zone is little different, but special economic zone is any area where certain benefits are being extended, right? Similarly,
यस
on the similar lines, as of now, we have Gift City. In future, we may have another center in Maharashtra or in West Bengal near Kolkata. So this is because you want to attract foreign capital and you don't want your domestic investors to go abroad. You are giving them all the, for example, you have an Indian investor. He was planning to go and invest in Dubai. Why? Because of zero taxation or lower taxation. Yes or no? This will lead to loss of capital. To avoid this loss of capital, now the same investor can go where? To Gift City.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes,
Now
sir.
I'm coming back to our example of bill, act, and law. So I said once the bill is debated upon and it is passed in the legislature, it becomes an act. And once the provisions of the act are notified by the government, it is called law. Then it becomes law. So when a new act is passed, because infrastructure is not ready, so sections of the act are notified in stages. So once the head office is ready, or if they take any head office on, let's say, lease or rent, then they will come out with recruitment of chairperson or executive directors or general managers. So for that, the sections, respective sections of the act will be notified. Once it is notified, only then the chairperson of that body will have any power. I hope I am clear now. Again, let me modify the example. There is an act called Motor Vehicles Act, right? So for example, government makes some changes in this act, and now they say that if a four-wheeler driver commits any crime, if they do not follow the rules, they will be challaned, and the challan amount is going to be increased from 10,000 to 25,000 rupees, just for an example. Okay. And these changes are approved by the legislature. Got it? Now, will it be directly implemented, or is there anything the government needs to do before these are implemented? How will the public come to know that challan amount has increased from 10,000 to 25,000? So this is notified through the official gazette. Until and unless the provisions of the law are notified, especially of the act, they cannot be considered a law. Is it correct? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they have to be notified. Notifies means you are notifying the public at large that from here on, from this particular date, this shall be applicable. Got it? So as a banker, why I have shared or put so much of stress on these things, because you are going to work as bankers, and let's say as a sales officer or as a credit officer or as a recovery officer. So you must know the law. Only if you know the law, you can function, act correctly. If you don't know the law, do you think you will function correctly? No. Agreed?
Agreed, sir.
Yes, sir.
For example, I am a businessman. I am in the textile sector. Okay. I want a business loan of 100 crores. And I approach Saurabh. Let's say he's working in State Bank of India. So I need a business loan of 100 crores. Now, before processing my application, do you think it is important for Saurabh to know which sector I'm into? Hmm?
Yes.
Yes, because only the policies applicable for that sector will be considered. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is why understanding of the law of the regulatory guidelines, it is important for, especially for a credit officer, followed by a marketing officer or other officers. For example, you are a marketing officer and you are selling an insurance policy. Now, if you don't know the provisions of IRDAI, if you are not a specified agent, specified person, can you sell that policy? No. As per RDI guidelines, if you are not a specified person, you can't sell a policy. The bank will be penalized. Okay. So understanding of these is important. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, another important thing in every bank is the credit policy. So, for example, you are working for a bank and a customer comes. What is the basic document on the basis of which credit appraisal needs to be done? What is that? For example, Dipesh joins State Bank of India, Rashmi joins Bank of Baroda, Sandeep joins Canara Bank, Vaibhav joins Indian Bank. Okay. They've joined, now they have to function as a credit officer. A customer comes with a proposal. What is the basis on which they will do the credit appraisal? What is the basis?
KYC and income tax.
Credit policy. What
Okay.
is the basis?
Credit policy.
If credit policy says the official level, let's say Kalpesh is scale 2 in a particular branch, but the credit policy does not allow scale 2 branch to sanction loan to a particular sector, and that customer approaches to Kalpesh. Can Kalpesh do the loan? No.
No.
But
No, sir.
imagine Kalpesh did not know. He had no idea about the credit policy. He says, okay, fine, give me this document, give me that document. So on paper, you may do it. But what you are actually doing may be incorrect. It may be against the bank guidelines. You getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So, for example, bank says you cannot lend for gambling. Now you didn't know. So a person says, he says, I am developing an app and it will be like Dream 11. Can you fund for that?
No.
No, because as per RBI guidelines, funding for gambling activities is prohibited. You can't do it. But you have to know about it, no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So imagine each one of you, just imagine each one of you are sitting in an office and it says State Bank of India. Now, because none of you are in State Bank of India, have you imagined each one of you? I want a yes. Has
Yes,
every
sir.
one of you
Yes, sir.
imagined that you are
Yes,
sitting
sir.
in an office in a branch and that is of State Bank of India? Have you imagined?
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
actually, none of you work for SBI. Is it correct?
Yes.
So, none
Yes,
of
sir.
you actually know what guidelines are there in SBI. Do you know?
No.
Now,
No.
I
No, sir.
approach each one of you for a loan. I have visited your bank's website, SBI, and I know what SBI is offering. But because you are only imagining, you are not real workers of SBI, and I'm assuming you don't know anything about the products SBI is offering, I approach you for a loan. Will you be able to do justice to the job? No.
No, sir.
You may give this vague answers or basic answers like give your KYC, right? Give your income proof. Not more than that. Can you do more than that?
No, sir.
So for that, what do you need to refer to?
Credit policy, sir.
Credit policy. By credit policy, by reading the credit policy, you will come to know what all kind of loans can be sanctioned, what all kind of loans cannot be sanctioned, what has to be taken, what has not to be taken, what is the minimum CIBIL scores. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing you've got to do is you must know what a credit policy is. Credit policy is basically the guidance document given by the board of directors, management of the board, which tells you what has to be done. Because credit is an important function in the bank, and without credit, a bank will not survive. So it is an important element. So in the credit policy, you will find out about the risk appetite of the bank. How much risk is the bank going to take? So in the credit policy, you will find that, our bank wants to achieve a credit growth of, for example, 15%. In most banks' credit policy, you will not find this statement, but this is how it is, that the bank is targeting a certain growth percentage. In order to achieve that, they will tell that, we are targeting this much growth in this financial year, and these are the attractive sectors or open sectors. So that means these are those sectors which the bank has identified as high business opportunity sectors. That means most loans can be given to these sectors. So this is open sector. Next list will be restricted sector. That means to this sector, you can't give loan. Only your higher offices can give loans with restrictions. And third is prohibited sectors. That means these are those sectors to which you cannot give loan. The bank cannot give loan. They have been prohibited. So where will you find this information? On the credit policy. Now, similarly, depending on the bank may say that the branch will sanction only loans up to 25 lakhs. Thereafter, their regional office or their back office will sanction loan up to 5 crores. So every bank has a different credit delivery structure. How they are delivering credit. They will have different structures depending on the size of the bank, number of employees, number of customers. So you've got to know about it. No. For example, you are posted in the back office. So for you, which provisions will apply that are applicable for the back office? Because back office is going to enjoy higher power over branch. Got it? Guys, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. This is it for today. Please let me know any questions you may have. Yes, anyone?
Sir, classes will be weekly only.
So we are going to have at least 2 classes during the weekdays and 1 class on Sundays as of now. Then gradually we'll see, depending on the pace and what all is to be covered, whether we require more classes or not. Fine.
So can I ask something, sir? Since I joined late, so
Yeah.
is there any idea when the exam, the
Not at
first
this point in time, ma'am. As of now, they have extended the last date to 27th January. Okay, maybe because they're not getting many candidates, because there are many vacancies and it is a very good opportunity. So I think this is one of the reasons why they have extended it, because they were not getting the required number of applications. So as of now, until the application process is over, it would be next to impossible to comment when they would want to conduct the exam, because that depends on the number of
candidates or
applications.
applicants? So,
Yes.
and the classes will be in the evening hours, sir, yours?
Yes, on weekdays they will be from 9:30 onwards. As of now, the maximum classes during the weekdays would be only 2. Of course, I'll be providing you access to a different course content on the portal. You can refer to it whenever you get time. You will be getting practice questions and content on that portal. Nishi, you're already aware about it. Those of you who have enrolled for CICC, I have already shared with you the course link. You can access through it. Yes.
This
Sir, may,
Hmm.
sir, after COVID, so
After?
far I have after COVID,
Hmm.
so far, I have taken multiple online classes.
Hmm.
They all disappointed me, but this particular class, I have also heard one recording of yours for CICC.
नहीं,
The best.
I तो no ना this. My students know, those who have joined my classes, they know, like Nishi was giving you the feedback, or all those who have cleared, that it is unmatched as of now. Because I am a banker by profession, I come with lots of experience, so I'm telling you with experience. The candidates who join other coaching classes, I mean, every coaching is, I would say, should be respected, but the people who are teaching there, they are not bankers. So just imagine you are being taught by people who don't know banking, but still you join because of the name or the marketing gimmicks that they put in.
Sir,
No,
if
sir.
you are comfortable, sir, if you are comfortable to answer, so
Hmm.
sir, can we know about you, sir?
No. I'm not comfortable and I don't share that information. Only once you become my very dear students.
Okay,
Yes.
no problem, sir. No
Until
problem.
that time, we keep it very professional. My role is to help you prepare, and in that, I will provide you all the assistance.
So
Yes.
Yes.
far,
So
very
Sir,
for the
I have a
first
query.
phase,
Yeah.
for the first phase, so the reasoning, the quants and these things, so will you provide assistance
Yes,
or I?
this time we may provide you some classes. However, for quant, reasoning, and English, you've got to pass the minimum cutoff only. Its marks are not calculated for interview calls.
Hmm.
Okay, so for example, there are 25 questions each on 3 sections. So if the cutoff goes 5 in English, so you should score at least 5 in English to be considered for interview. Yeah, Dipesh,
Yes.
you were saying something.
Y- Sir, I want to ask like what kind of roadmap or guidance we need, matlab, how we start preparing for this
Okay,
exam,
first thing that you've got to do is from today onwards, you have to be very careful with how you speak. This is first
right, sir?
lesson. Because just
Okay.
passing the written is not our goal. Our goal is to join the bank, right? So, like
Yes.
today,
Yes.
when I was asking you to introduce some of you, like you only gave your first name, Dipesh. You did not tell me about your surname.
Yes.
So, it can't be casual. Because why I'm
Okay.
telling you so? Because it becomes your habit, it becomes part of your personality.
Hmm.
Okay. So from today onwards, you have to be very careful with what you speak. Try and control your speech. Be very selective with words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
Because
sir.
that is what I'm telling you. This is not a magical pill. Your practice, your hard work will help you achieve the desired end, whatever you're aspiring for. So first
Yep.
thing is you've got to start reading a financial newspaper. If you can't do it, I would find to hard to believe that you don't get any time in office. Even a minute, a single minute is enough.
Okay.
Single minutes during the day, whenever you get time, go to your mobile, go to websites like Mint, read about finance. We don't want you to know anything about political news. Okay. At the most about social schemes like Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Suraksha Bima Yojana, Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. Very little because it is more on credit and sales. But you should know what is happening in the banking sector, in the finance sector. Got it?
Right, sir.
Yes. This is one of the best ways to improve, enhance your knowledge without putting in much of effort.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So reading newspapers is very important, even if you can do it 10 minutes, not necessarily 10, all 10 minutes have to put in at once. 1 minute, 30 seconds, small news.
So it
Mm-hmm.
is more of like knowing a basic idea what's going around in the
Yes,
political
ma'am.
affairs
It is
or the business
basically
affairs.
about, I will tell you,
Hmm.
you will find it. Hmm, just a moment. So, it is basically about start accessing it through your phones, visit their websites, and whatever little time you get. I'm telling 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, these are enough because most of you have some background knowledge. None of you is completely blank. Most of you are working. So, like Nishi had said, what you require is a clarity on that. And because you come from a private sector bank, basically you don't know how things work in public sector banks. So, I've got to give you a larger picture. For credit, we'll have to understand what ratios are. You'll be getting questions on current ratio, debt equity ratio, debt service coverage ratio. And then there will be questions on like what is CIBIL, what is its use, what is credit appraisal. Some of the questions are very basic, but conceptual understanding is required. Maybe what is letter of credit, what are bank guarantees, types of bank guarantees. So the level of difficulty of the question paper will depend on the number of candidates who have applied. If the candidates are very few, the level of paper will be moderate. When the
सर
number of candidates are very high, then the difficulty level is on the higher side. Yeah. Anyone saying something?
सर मैं ये पूछ रहा था कि लेट जैसे आपने बोला कि ये राइटिंग के लिए रहेगा, मगर सर आई थिंक इंटरव्यू वगैरह जो होते होंगे तो दे मस्ट एक्सपेक्ट सम आंसर टू अ लेवल, तो
नहीं नहीं
आपके
नहीं, that
इस
I
तरह की।
teach you. Don't worry about it. I will take you to that level. Basically, with government banks, there are certain terms, certain words that you must use in your answers. If you are doing that, then you are conveying that you have the knowledge. If you know what is happening within the bank, I will be telling you what is happening with the bank. I have the access to their circulars now. So I will be telling you. So that basically helps during the interview. Right now, you are in private sector bank. So most of you don't have the right mindset because you're working in a different culture. There is a cultural difference between a private organization and a government organization.
Yes, sir, we are more business prone.
Yeah, plus you have this freedom, you can resign, you can join some other organization. There is a different mindset altogether. But in government banks, once you join it, they expect you to be, uh, someone who's very disciplined, very sincere, because you've got to respect your seniors. Because ultimately, it is a government bank. They have a hierarchy, and they expect that if you have joined, you will be there until you retire. So they are seeking such answers. If somebody is inexperienced and let's say he has appeared for another exam and has appeared for the interview, he may say, sir, last week I had gone for interview in that bank. The person will be rejected then and there. They want someone who will stick with them, not who is telling that I just appeared for the interview. So at places you have to be limited with your answers. You don't have to tell everything. You getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So that is what I'll be telling you. What is to be answered to what extent. So what is required from you is, number one, make it a habit of start reading the newspapers or online news limited to finance and banking. Nothing else. This is number one. Number two, take 20, 15 minutes every day. This is very basic. Start reading from Google. When you read from Google, you get different sources. This is the easiest way to learn things. Like what is the formula for current ratio? This should be on your tips. If you don't know it, write on Google. No problem. Then you can discuss it in class. You can ask me because you will have some idea. And whatever I will tell you, it will easily, assimilate. You'll be able to remember that forever. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
So this portal which you are talking about, this
Hmm.
access, so this access will be shared on the WhatsApp only?
Yeah,
Or how?
individual WhatsApp will be given.
Okay.
Like, see, most of you have already enrolled for certificate in commercial credit and the Bob program. Now, why I have been insisting for it? Because Moody's is a global certification. It is not like IIBF, it is a global agency. And it is made mandatory by RBI. And in Bank of Baroda, there is a lot of pressure to do this certification. So anyone who has already done this or who completes it before the interview will be getting natural edge. If you have your friends in Bank of Baroda, you can ask them if they are working in credit, their bank registers their name, and if they don't pass, then the fees is deducted from their salaries. Okay, so I have told you upfront that anyone who has this certification will be getting natural advantage. You can imagine for yourself, let's say each one of you passes the written and are appearing for the interview. Now, for example, from nine out of you, five has cleared CICC and four have not. So whom do you think will be given preference? It's a
The one
common thing,
that
no? Yes, unless those four they show some remarkable knowledge during the interview.
Sir,
Hmm.
an opportunity for us to know about CICC as well.
Sure, your voice is not clear. Please repeat.
Sir, we are all here and we
Hmm.
are all new. So can you give us some basic idea about CICC and the structure and everything?
Regarding what? CICC and?
CICC, some basic structure, how the exam will be conducted, and what is the
It is remote proctored. You can give it from your home. We are the only institution who is offering it with pass guarantee and lifetime access. Once you register with us, if you are working in Federal Bank, you get a discounted pricing. There is a specific circular from Federal Bank. For other banks also, they have their internal circulars. They have a discounted pricing, and once you pass, your bank will be reimbursing you the fees. Basically, there are 10 modules. I have shared with each one of you what those 10 modules are. If you will carefully see your WhatsApp message, I will be sharing another video if you want that discusses in detail the syllabus of Moody's. Okay. Moody's is conducting similar examination in US, Australia, Canada, across the world. That is why it is a global certification. It's just that if it is conducting that exam in US, it will be in the US perspective. You can't expect Moody's to ask questions related to RBI for people in US. Okay.
yes, sir.
But if let's say your name is Sam Matthews and you are in US attending my class, and I have Dipesh here, and both of them have done CICC. So both will be treated at par because it is the same body who is authorized giving that certificate. So it is a global certification. Understand that.
Yes, sir.
Yes Bank's MD, Prashant, he specifically did it. You can see his photo on Google. So most of the higher executives, they do it because of the value of the quality of the certification. It is beautifully designed. And you can also go through the LMS provided by Moody's if you have time. You will find PDF content there. Any which ways, we are offering the content, we are offering the practice questions. So, if you want to be in the banking sector, you will have to continuously upgrade yourself. Today, I was telling to some of my other students, like relatively the officers in Federal Bank are more smart. They are more proactive. This is also because Federal Bank during the selection process selects only those candidates who have that caliber. Relatively, when I see banks, employees in South Indian Bank, or even for that matter, IDBI Bank, they are very laid back. Canara Bank, Indian Bank, very slow because their bank is not incentivizing them. Now, IDBI Bank officers have realized because their bank is about to be privatized. So, they've started doing other certifications. And so, if you want to stay in banking, you've got to upgrade your knowledge all the time because banking is very vast, it is very diverse. And during the interviews, they always prefer someone who is more knowledgeable or who is more sincere. Hmm.
So last questions I want to ask. So for this recorded classes that you have done today, so we'll come in the same
No, no, no. It will be a
one.
separate course.
It'll be separate.
I'm
Okay.
about to upload it maybe by today evening. Yes.
So we'll get the mocks there, sir. The LMS portal will be
Yes,
similar
yes,
to
yes.
the one.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But different questions.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, how to access the LMS portal, sir?
I will share all those details, Vikasji. As of now, Acha, you have also enrolled for CICC, no? Because
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
yeah, so I have already shared to you the CICC login details. As of now, for the time being, you can access CICC. For Bob, I will be uploading it by tonight. See, because I take classes for many other global certifications.
Okay.
CAMS, Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialist, Certified Fraud Examiner, Certified Financial Crime Specialist, JIB, many other certifications. So, I hardly get time. Right. So that is why request each one of you to value my time as well, because when you're valuing my time, you're actually valuing your time. Fine.
Correct, sir.
Okay.
Rashmi, anything? You've been very quiet. Rashmi. Vaibhav, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Kalpesh ji, Vikas.
No, sir, no, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much for today's class.
Sure, sure.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Rashmi ji, I was saying you've been quiet. Anything you'd like to say, contribute to?
No, no, actually, this is my first experience, sir. I have not attended such class because it's very knowledge gaining tutorial. I would like to continue, sir.
Sure, sure, ma'am. No issues. You're welcome to join whenever you get time, right?
Yes,
And in case whenever you have guys any queries, you can always WhatsApp me first. Subject to the availability, we can speak as well. No problems.
yes, yes.
Chalo. Any which ways, have a great